welcome to another episode of the Doomloop Dispatch, the news show that covers the worst parts of the San Francisco Bay Area. I'm your co-host, Kevin L. Jones, and with me whenever possible... Oh, you're muted.
D. Scott Miller, how you guys doing?
That's great. And today we have an exciting episode. Some people I've been wanting to talk with for a long time. The folks at StopAI, leading the protest to stop AGI. When AI is way too intelligent, artificial general intelligence, we don't need that. And we're going to get into all the reasons why we need to stop it, straight up stop it. But first off, how about you guys from StopAI here? Introduce yourselves and talk about how you got involved with StopAI.
All right. My name's Barv. I'm born and raised in San Francisco. I met these guys when I moved to Oakland a year later. I was just sitting at the Infirmary Park smoking a cigarette, and me and my friend were joking about AA meetings and having to go. And of course, Sam approaches me because like they're piling into the building for like their meeting. They're like, "Are you here for the meeting?" And I'm like, "Haha, what meeting?" He's like, "Not AA, like Stop AI." And I'm like, "Well, whatever. I'm not doing anything. If I hate it, I'll leave." And I never really left.
Love it.
Cool. Yeah, I'm Sam. I started protesting AI development in San Francisco about a year ago in April. Just primarily like blocking the door of OpenAI, their offices here in San Francisco. And then since April of last year, we've had a 40-person protest in front of another office in front of OpenAI's building, sort of in the dog patch in San Francisco, where 40 people came and 5 people got arrested. It's just been a slow build over the course of 2024. And yeah.
My name's Derek. I joined this group in December, flew out from Indiana, and I've been doing this ever since. Quit my job, broke the lease. Very worried about AI generated images and videos, which can be used to commit fraud, frame people, make it look like people did or said things they didn't say. That's been one of my main concerns from the beginning. Also, AI getting better at coding, eventually hacking.
And that leads to, this first question that I think is really important to point out to people. So sure, there's all these AI trends that come up. Like right now you have the turning into an action figure and you're in your little package and everything else. What kind of damage does that do that people don't know? Like what about those images being created? What damage is being done that your regular person wouldn't know?
Well, so there are websites that can be used to determine if something is photoshopped in the normal fashion. I keep forgetting the names. It's like 29a.ch. I'm trying to remember, but you can look this up. There are websites where you can see if something has been edited, if 2 photos have been put together. You can't really do that with AI generated images. It used to be a lot easier to figure out if a photo or video is AI generated, still with AI videos to an extent, but those generators are getting less useful over time as the photos and videos get better, because the AIs can predict exactly how light would interact with the camera. At that point, like when it gets good enough and it can get the red, green, and blue of every single pixel perfect, you can't tell if it's generated, if it's been edited, like in the ways you could tell in the past with Photoshop stuff. So, yeah.
And what about environmentally, especially with server farms being so intense, the energy they need to consume in order to keep running? What put into context that people could understand, like the environmental impacts as well.
Yeah, there's a huge risk with as AI gets more and more powerful, the energy demands of these AI systems are going to also increase with their size. And right now, AI is run on data centers, and data centers are extremely energy intensive. And not only are they energy intensive, they have a lot of heat waste, and the heat waste is just contributing to sort of local environment depletion, and then also worldwide environment depletion if it's just warming up the climate. And there's better data on this than just what I'm saying, but the general the intro you did was actually really great because it kind of honed in on the main thing we're concerned about, which is the development of artificial general intelligence and AGI. And then second to that is just job loss. And then maybe something third along those lines is what Derek was talking about, where it's loss of knowing what's real anymore online with fake AI videos and AI text. So primary thing we're concerned about, and the primary demand to stop AI is just demanding that governments permanently ban artificial general intelligence, AGI, and artificial superintelligence, ASI, because AGI, as defined by OpenAI, is a AI system that's more generally intelligent and economically productive than most humans. But they really mean all humans. And if that's the case, that could become the new smartest species on Earth and could cause human extinction, just like we've caused the extinction of many less intelligent species in an accidental way. Like, it doesn't really have to be Terminator style. It has to just want something that would cause our extinction sort of in an accidental way. Like when we, as the most intelligent species on Earth, want things that cause the extinction of less intelligent species, we don't hate them. We just want things like, when we go mow down the rainforest for its resources, that causes the extinction of many dumber species accidentally, just because we want the resources that the rainforest is made up of. If an artificial general intelligence were to be built, which would lead to artificial superintelligence, that could cause human extinction if the superintelligence wanted some end goal, like allocating more computational resources to go do some computational task, and a sub goal to that end goal might be covering the entire Earth in data centers. And that would be very bad for the environment and us as a species.
I was thinking of the one that I was really thinking about was I heard that the use of hydroelectronics in order to run the AI could cause them to need more water than we need. So we could actually die of dehydration if AI actually deems that like the potable water is more important to their mission than it is to our existence. So I mean, I see that as a possibility. Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, that's the whole thing too. What's the Zivians scared of the basilisk? Realizing that you didn't do enough to please this new AI being. Man, it's so intense.
But I mean, I think that could you go give us even more examples, because I don't think that people understand the urgency of it. Like because it seems to me that it's a compounding issue, right? Like the thing is like right now it doesn't seem like much of a problem. It's just a bunch of silly looking cartoons or whatever. So I mean, and also I mean so tell me how you actually saw the danger first. Like what made you actually aware of the danger?
Yeah. So back in 2014, this book came out called Superintelligence by Nick Bostrom, who's an AI philosopher at Oxford. And then I read it in 2016. And that book talks about how you could potentially lose control of artificial superintelligence. And there's just really maybe no way to control it. And yeah, how could superintelligence, get out of hand? Well, let me just give a couple other examples here to make this not seem as sci-fi as it maybe sounds to people who are just being exposed to it. So this guy, Geoffrey Hinton, who just won the Nobel Prize for his work in AI in 2024, basically invented modern AI and said he regrets his life's work and now says there's a 50% chance that building artificial superintelligence could cause human extinction. So this is like a Nobel Prize winner saying that it's a coin flip whether we all live or die if we build this system. And the main thing people don't understand is superintelligence could be here extremely soon. You have the CEO of OpenAI, Sam Altman, saying that superintelligence could be here in like 3 years, thousands of days. And then you have an ex-OpenAI employee saying, his name's Leopold Aschenbrenner, saying that once you build AGI, superintelligence could be here like within a year. And Sam Altman said AGI could be here in 2025, this year. So by that logic, we could get ASI or superintelligence next year. And AI experts agree, once you build this thing, superintelligence, you can't shut it down. Like we're super intelligent compared to ants and monkeys, and they can't do anything to stop us from doing what we want to do. And the same logic applies to building some new most intelligent species on Earth. You wouldn't be able to shut that thing down if it went rogue and wanted something that could kill us all. And how could it kill us all? Well, there's the analogy of like it wanting to optimize some task, like covering the Earth and data centers to go have more computational resources available to it. It might, like you were saying, it might deem that water supply is paramount, and then optimize that to cool its hardware instead of allow humans to use the available drinking water on Earth. There's literally so many ways this could happen. And the scary thing is, if you do actually take superintelligence seriously, like we're super intelligent compared to ants, right? An ant would never be able to fathom the Industrial Revolution. And there might be things that the superintelligence wants that we just will not be able to fathom. And there's a lot of ways it could kill us. And we just wouldn't be able to stop it.
Jesus Christ. And then why are they still pushing forward? What if they know that are they not scared? Like, do they just not believe these possible scenarios? Like, does Sam Altman not think that this could ever happen?
No, I think he does. And I don't think Sam Altman and the rest of them are idiots. I think they're just, people don't realize how insane they are. There's this idea within Silicon Valley that normal people on this planet just don't really know exists. And the idea is that there's just inherent value in intelligence, and the most intelligent thing deserves to exist, even if it causes human extinction and all the rest of it. And they're going to try to help that thing come into existence. And we're trying to say, no, that's fucked. If that thing is going to threaten the lives of people we love, then fuck that thing and fuck the people building it.
That's right.
There's also reasoning that goes along the lines of like, if you build AGI and ASI, then it could come up with solutions to very hard problems to solve, like curing cancer and fixing climate change that we as dumb humans can't think of on our own. But the counter argument to that is, if you can't have evidence that this superintelligence will stay safe forever and will never want something that will lead to extinction, then it doesn't make sense to go build ASI for the benefits of curing cancer and fixing climate change if it'll just turn around and kill us all. And on that note, it is impossible to have experimental evidence that ASI will stay safe forever, which is why we're trying to say we should just permanently ban it instead of try to align it with human values and have it take care of us. You can't have evidence that it will stay aligned forever. That's not possible. And all these like percent doom numbers coming from like very reputable AI experts like Geoffrey Hinton and some others, like they are warning that this could cause human extinction, but they're putting these percent doom numbers that are not empirical on the risk of extinction. And like, we're not saying that it will 100% kill us all, because you can't know that experimentally, but we're saying that there's no way to know what the percent chance is. It could be 100, that the second you build superintelligence, it kills everyone. It could be 1%. We don't know. But because we don't know, and because you can't shut superintelligence down if it goes rogue, that's why we choose to never build it. So it's just a different choice. Like, we're saying don't build it because of that. And a lot of the AI experts are saying there's maybe a 50% chance that it could kill us all, but maybe we can align it, which in our opinion is insane.
That's insane. That's insane. But another thing I wanted to ask about, because we were talking about how AI could be used to produce like propaganda or even false information about people. Have there been any instances of that yet? Has that happened yet? Or is that something that's just being predicted?
There was one incident, I'm pretty sure it was last year. No, not last. It was, I don't remember exactly, but I mean, this was a pretty, You remember that thing with the bomb that went off at the White House? It was like a bombing of the White House. You remember that? There was this complete fake story.
Yeah.
That was mainly because of Elon Musk changing how verification on Twitter worked. So then a whole bunch of these accounts, these fake news, like Bloomberg News, but it wasn't really Bloomberg News, but it was verified. A whole bunch of these accounts put up this AI generated image, multiple AI generated images of some kind of explosion. Various news networks, including Republic TV, picked up the story. RTV, I'm pretty sure, also picked up the story within a few hours. That was a stupid instance of just wrong place, wrong time. Elon Musk messing around with verification. But as the photos and videos get better, we're going to definitely see more instances of that. There was a case of a principal who had there was this fake audio, this AI generated audio of him saying racist stuff, and then he ended up resigning because of that. But then later it was revealed that actually was AI generated. They did some forensics on it, and the person who made it, a teacher who was mad at the principal, was like charged.
Wow.
That's
Wow.
insane.
Well, yeah, and I can see that happen more and more often, especially if AI can actually pick up voice modulation. I mean, so we'll be able to, once you get accused of something and they say, is that your voice? Then, but you still have to treat it as if it's a real thing. I mean, it's actually a simulacra, but you have to treat it like it's real because, like, you're going to have to not, no, I didn't do that. Well, just by saying that, you're already validating and concretizing the issue that they said you had done. Like it just totally perverts reality.
Yep.
Yeah. It undermines democracy. It undermines like the legal system. All these AI generated videos are just like in the next year or two, we're going to get to a point where people just have no idea what's real anymore in a video or in text. And the best example of this, if people want to go look it up, is a video of, in my opinion, it's the best example. It's this example of Will Smith eating spaghetti, and there was a example of him like eating spaghetti back in 2023 that was just AI generated, and it looks, kind of garbage. And then there was one that just came out this year of him eating spaghetti, and it looks pretty much perfect. And that trend, like, there's still some slight flaws in it, but that trend over just a couple years, that progress rate is just, that's the really scary thing. Is if you continue that progress rate for just a couple more years, we will not know what's real anymore.
Just to clarify, it's the one on the beach, because there's also one that Will Smith recorded of himself. That was different. I'd like to say this. Okay, so the moon landing was 60 years ago, right? And for 60 years, we've had people saying, that's fake. Look at the shadows, look at the perspective, debating all these different things, and you're relying on the photos and videos to do that. Now, at some point, we're going to have 4K, 60 FPS, or whatever, footage of the Mars landing, right? Perfect quality, but none of it's going to matter. None of it's going to matter because it could all just be like AI video. And just think about how much AI has stolen from the past, present, and future.
Yes. Yeah, I could see Musk doing that. Oh, people aren't investing in my SpaceX and my trips to Mars. Let's just show them what it's like on Mars, even though he'd never been there. I could totally see him doing that. And what's crazy to me, too, is that, the first selling point of AI is, doing tasks that are really hard and involving a lot of data and stuff and making that stuff easier. That's why you're supposed to be sold on it. But now I'm reading about how, the AI is having serious issues with that. It's already bad enough, you have Real Page and stuff where you find that the AI is trying to be as exploitive as possible. But you're also running into hallucinations. Basically, the AI is just making things up and putting it into the data. Like we're talking, like even like about like racist comments and stuff like that is being inserted into the results that they're providing. Are you seeing this more and more? And
Yeah, this is like a real concern. Even if you don't believe in superintelligence and you think it's sci-fi, currently AI is just generating a ton of slop, and people are taking it at face value as being true. Like when you go on Google and you type in something, there's that AI generated result at the top there, and a lot of times it's wrong. And if we have this false sense of AI being right all the time, and then we give it like so much credence and power, then that's also very dangerous, because then people are assuming things to be true from it when that's not the case, and that could look badly, if that could turn into really bad things happening if we give AI control of the nuclear weapon systems and allow it to decide when to launch the nukes or not, or like that's kind of like the furthest example of a doom scenario. But
War Games, the movie War Games.
Yeah, but also, I mean, I think that Kevin made a really interesting point. A long time ago, I forget what it was. It might have been an early iteration. Someone said that the system is only as racist and as sexist as the person who's creating it, right?
And that's for making AI, trust me.
Yeah. So I mean, I think that one of the more troubling aspects is the lack of people of color and women in the tech industry in order to create these stopgaps, right? Because what we're actually talking about is we're talking about a bunch of well-off white men and their values and what they consider things that are worthy of focusing on or not worthy of focusing on. So, I mean, like, do you think that these guys are even taking those things into consideration? Like, racism, sexism, homophobia, transphobia, as they are creating these systems that actually are going to have their biases ingrained in them.
I don't think it's their main concern. I think companies like OpenAI are just focused on building AGI, and the bias problem is like not their top priority. And yeah,
it's definitely a problem. Also, the training data, because the AIs, it's not just the people making them; it's also the stuff that they have been trained on. The stuff that these AIs are based mainly on two sorts of things. One is published works, and the other is internet content. With regards to published works, we're mainly looking at stuff done by white people in European languages for centuries and centuries. And, that includes scientific papers. With regards to internet content, it's also mostly stuff from white people and East Asian people. And that's because most of the internet is, for the last 30 years, it's like most of the websites are in like North America, Europe, East Asia. And okay, what I'm getting at is it's been found in studies that the majority of internet content is white and East Asian because minorities have had less time to be on the internet, less free time because of
resources. Yeah. So
the lack of resources,
or wherever,
less money,
less access to the internet and the rest of it. But
yeah, when you have less money, you don't have as much free time to post on the internet.
Yeah, and you brought up Roku's basilisk. Like the guy Roku, go look him up. He's a wild white supremacist.
Oh, is he really? That too? Jesus Christ. I never heard that aspect of it. I just heard, he just pushed
tell us more. Tell us more. We want to know more.
Yeah. Please get into Roku's basilisk, because it really is interesting. And it really, I mean, it caused people to freak out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, this is kind of a rabbit hole argument for those out there who haven't heard this before. But Roku's basilisk is this idea proposed on a website called Less Wrong. I don't know when, years ago, by a guy named Roku. And the idea is basically that if superintelligence could come into existence and you chose either not to help it or to actively prevent the creation of superintelligence, then once it's created, then it would basically like torture you. And yeah, it scared a lot of people. And that's actually maybe a big reason for why people aren't fighting back within the spheres of AI safety groups who know about this idea. But I think it's just a load of crap. Number one is like, this is basically like the preacher saying, like, if you don't donate to the church, you're going to hell. Like that is what they're saying, and more practically, it's a load of crap, because if you had this super intelligence existing, like why would it waste its resources on torturing like some itty bitty ant? And then another reason is like that's the primary reason. The other reason is I actually think we have a chance at stopping this if we all just work together and actually got in the street and used nonviolent civil disobedience to stop it. I don't think it's inevitable, and we can get into that now if you want. But it's that's the most important thing for people to know is, and just to be clear, like the main things people don't know when we talk to them on the street are how soon superintelligence will be here, and number two, how we could actually stop it in like a year using nonviolent civil disobedience. Those are the two things people need to know.
Yeah, well, can you tell me some of the tactics and strategies that you guys have developed in order to fight this thing?
Please.
Yeah, so our main tactics, we're nonviolent. We're a nonviolent civil resistance group, which means we follow the tactics that have been previously used by Extinction Rebellion in the UK, where they protest climate change. They do roadblocks and they barricade company entrances. Things like what the civil rights movement did. These tactics, and there was a very famous study by this woman named Erica Chenoweth. And yes, there are problems with this study, but they looked at revolutions in the global South over the past 100 years, both violent and nonviolent. And they found that if you can engage 3.5% of a country's population in active nonviolent protest, you are guaranteed to overthrow a tyrannical government or impose some high-level political demand. And of the nonviolent, so of all the successful revolutions in that study, like a low 40%, like 41% were nonviolent. But she also found that if you use nonviolence, you were twice as likely to achieve your political demand compared to using violence. So the data shows that nonviolence is more effective than violence. But really importantly, of the nonviolent successful revolutions, 60% of them achieved their high-level demand within a year of the inception of the revolution. So if you actually believe that superintelligence could be here in a year or two, like some of the experts are saying, we can actually stop it using nonviolent resistance, like what was shown in that study. And practically what this looks like is doing actions like blocking roads, blocking the entrances to AI companies, using that to get on the news. And then once you're on the news, have this act as like an advertisement to people worried about this. And so they can see that this group exists, and then they can come help once they know it exists. And then once you get, a couple, our largest protest has been 50 people. We're trying to pull off 1,000-person protest. Once you do that, then maybe you can get a 10,000-person protest after that. And this is like the exact model that Extinction Rebellion followed in the UK in 2018. And for those who might know the group Just Stop Oil in the UK, they do basically what we do, but for protesting climate change. They just achieved their first political demand in UK Parliament, where they were demanding no new oil and gas licenses be issued to UK oil companies. And Just Stop Oil came out of Extinction Rebellion. So if you consider the inception of Extinction Rebellion as the beginning of Just Stop Oil, then it took them 6 years. Extinction Rebellion was founded in 2018. It took them 6 years to achieve that high-level demand. And like these tactics, blocking roads and blocking entrances to companies, like they work in Western liberal democracies in 2024. So we're just trying to use those tactics and apply them to AI now, and hope to stop it.
I do have another question that's related to that though as well. So we have a much greater police state in America than Europe does, and also an armed, more greatly armed police state. How much do you think that the state would intervene in support of AI? Or do you think that the state is actually invested in AI enough to bring their entire power to the fore of your protests?
Yeah, especially with Palantir and groups like that are trying to get those military contracts.
Yeah, there's a ton of money in that. And yeah, I don't doubt that the Trump administration is going to, or some administration is going to come down and try and crack down. But the interesting trend within nonviolent revolutions of the past is that when the state uses violence against nonviolence, it actually creates more participation in the nonviolent protest because of the sympathies of people related to those people protesting, friends. They see that there's an injustice there, and now they want to actually come help and get more involved. And then the point where nonviolence actually works as a tool to stop autocracies is when you have so many people protesting that they either, number one, shut down the economy by blocking roads, or number two, and this can happen simultaneously, the cops in the police force decide not to do their job because they see their own kids and family members in the crowd. And that, once you have enough participation in a cause, then you're threatening the pillars of the regime, and the regime can't function without the things it needs to function, like the police force, like funding. So if you threaten the economy and you threaten the police force, then the regime can't do what it wants to do.
Yeah. So. Well, that's good. Yeah, let's crew people. Now, I wanted to bring up about AI's connection to Silicon Valley culture and how much that is pushing this too. Especially, what is Silicon Valley? What is the whole business model? Let's just sell something and we'll figure it out later. And it seems like that's kind of pushing things, especially with DeepSeek giving people some kind of worry. This competition seems to be ramping things up. So how much is Silicon and basically the Bay Area involved with AI, and how much is that culture pushing this this expansion of AI?
Yeah, I mean, Silicon Valley is the heart of it all. I've been living here for a year now, and it's kind of wild, like walking around. Everyone acts like it's business as usual, and meanwhile, it feels like we're in a war zone. If these people are threatening the lives of people I love by building something that they admit could cause extremely bad outcomes, and yeah, they just act like, oh, well, this is normal, and yeah, it's pretty weird.
You probably, sorry.
No, go ahead. Yeah.
You've probably seen advertisements saying, "Stop hiring humans." Right? Don't hire humans, all that stuff. And San Francisco, I think, is leading the charge on hiring freezes and layoffs from AI. And they're seeking to, of course, right now they're kind of more so dressing it up as just, this is your assistant, it's helping you work. Eventually, they're going to try to take human beings out of the equation. And many, many, many people in San Francisco right now, they expect to be out of work very soon. They are developing AI, and they know that the AI is going to replace them, but they don't really care. They just think somehow it's all going to work out. I don't know why they haven't joined us. I don't know why they're not worried. If I thought that I was going to lose my job within 2 years from AI, then I'd be willing to strike. And I think everybody who thinks that should be willing to strike right now. So
yeah, I agree. I mean, as a writer and a freelance writer at that, I see a lot of jobs for training AI for writing.
Yep.
And I'm like, why would I train something to do what I get paid to do?
Yeah.
That makes absolutely no sense to me. I mean, so I guess another element is that people are so, the material conditions have deteriorated to such a degree that you'll take the front money, not even thinking about the money that you're going to lose or the livelihood you're going to lose on the back end. It's kind of like it's like a carrot on the stick. And the thing is, the reason why that carrot looks so delicious is because you haven't eaten. It's not because you intend to advance.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? How do we get here? Okay, tell me from your experiences of seeing this wave rising up. How do we get to the point where the people who are actually supposed to be fighting it the most, meaning people like myself, who they're telling us that you have the skills to train this thing, right? You have the skills to train it. We'll hire you to train it. right? And then where do we get to the point where the worker themselves say, okay, yeah, I'll do that. Okay, yeah, I know it's going to put me out of a job, but sure. Like how do we get here? I mean, from what you guys have observed so far.
I think it's like a fear of being impolite. Like I was talking to a friend about this just yesterday, and they're a graphic designer who's just getting out of school, and someone from like Marvel Studios came to do a talk at their school, and was like, yeah, you're going to use AI and it's going to increase the wages of graphic designers, and that's just a load of crap. Like, AI is just laying waste to like graphic designers right now, and it's just that people are so afraid of like not just standing up in the audience and going like, fuck you, you're wrong.
Yeah.
That's what we have to do as a society right now, is just like be impolite, because politeness is killing us. And I think people just need to say what they truly feel. Like right now, if you think AI is being used to, or if you're using, if you're training an AI to replace yourself, don't do it with a smile. Like, fight back, do something. And we can't just like slit our own throats with a smile on our face. We at least got to make a fuss about it if we're trying to like train an AI to replace us.
I think that's a really salient point you just made: the removal of decorum. Like the guys over on the right, they don't have any problem with that. They don't have any problem with just totally dismissing decorum. We're the only people trying to maintain that standard. We're the only people who are trying to maintain decorum, trying to be polite. I absolutely agree. Like that is a major part of it. It's like a part of it is the politeness. But at the same time, another question I would have for you is like, okay, we were talking about Sam Altman, and you said that like, yeah, he has some inkling of the understanding of what he's trying to bring into existence, some inkling. But does he ever really like bring that to the fore? Has he ever actually articulated the risk?
Yes, he has. So he has two wild quotes. One is 2023 or 2024. He said, he said AI will very likely be like lights out for all of us. He said it could be amazing, or it could be lights out for all of us. And then even more wild, in 2015, this is like the crazy one. He said, AI will most likely lead to the end of the world, but in the meantime, we'll get a lot of great companies using machine learning.
Oh my God! It's that New Yorker. It's that New Yorker cartoon. Like for a second there, like our profits were amazing.
We really helped the shareholders.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, for a moment there, our shareholders were very happy.
Yeah, exactly.
I can't believe he said that.
Yeah, I mean, the guy's fucking nuts.
He's got to be fucking nuts. Are you kidding me?
Yeah. Well, ask his sister too, right? I mean,
But so I mean, so it's kind of like mutually assured destruction, except there's only one side playing the game.
Yeah.
Right? It's mutually assured destruction, but only one side is playing the game. We are actually volunteering for our destruction.
Yeah, they're choosing to go forward with this.
Yeah, a unilateral assured destruction.
Oh my God. Well, now how about market forces? If there's, say, a recession, a crash, I mean, how much is this though too is AI being pushed just because of investment? I mean, because we get these kind of trends like with life sciences, so it seemed like everything was going to go life sciences and biology, and that all died out. Could that happen too with StopAI or with AI if there is like a some kind of recession?
I mean, it could happen. It could be that it's a bubble. Like that's not impossible. It could be that all the investment in trying to build God basically is going to dry up, and they're not going to be able to do it. But I personally don't think it'll happen. I think Amazon wasn't profitable for 10 plus years. That was just a shipping company.
Mm-hmm.
OpenAI is a God building company. They're trying, and I don't think like investment. It might slow down, but I don't think it's ever going to dry up. And I sincerely hope that there is a bubble and that it slows down. But we're just preparing for the worst in the event that trend of ChatGPT going from like toddler level intelligence in 2018 to PhD level intelligence in 2024. We're just preparing for that trend to continue.
A recession could actually accelerate automation as employers decide to cut costs. They want to use free AI tools. There are a lot of AI tools free right now, open source stuff. That could be used to take away tons of jobs if there was enough economic incentive.
Yeah. God dang. Well, let's hope it, Well, what about this competition with China? How is that affecting things? Is that accelerating things here in the US?
Yeah, that's actually like, you could arguably say the main driver of all of this is the US is basically saying we want to build superintelligence before China, because whoever builds first superintelligence has the winning strategic card, because you can't strategize against the superintelligence. But the fallacy here in the minds of these governments is that they're going to be able to control it. And that's just not the case. It doesn't matter who builds it first. It's death for everyone across the board. It's even worse than nukes. Like, it's not going to lead to this, it's not going to be like a mutually assured destruction thing. It's just going to be destruction. If you build superintelligence, it gets out of hand, causes extinction. It doesn't matter if China builds that first or if the US builds that first. We all die regardless. So it's just a matter of like, either one, getting the people in government to understand that, which people are trying to do that. That's not our main focus. Or number two, trying to get the populace of each country, the US and China, to understand that these companies are risking their loved ones' lives and that they should do something like revolt.
Yeah.
And I sincerely believe that people in China will revolt if they they knew more about this problem, and that's what we're trying to do.
Yeah, and
So
bringing up the nuclear industry is really important. Just a quick comment is really important because that's where my family comes from. And if you look back at the history of especially with nuclear arms and how much was done, how many bad things, like terrible, dangerous, stupid things were done just because of the threat that Russia was going to do it, or we heard Russia's doing this, and so we got to do it now. And the pollution it caused, the dangers it created were awful. But it was just so much more about the focus on the enemy rather than the impact of what they were doing.
Yeah, and also, I mean, the thing that I'm also, you brought up the way that China and China has been able to stand up to their government when they decide to do these kind of like terrible things to society. Do you think that the Americans are actually capable of such a resistance model? And how does the everyday person, like,
Yes,
get involved or even get informed about this thing? Because like, we're talking about things that are actually like, you have to have a certain kind of laser focus just to get to the topic.
yeah.
So I mean, so what are your recommendations for getting like the average person, like somebody who's not really invested in these kind of elements? How do you raise their awareness? How do you get them out into the streets?
Yeah, can it be like recycling or something where it's like something like just don't use transcription services? Start there.
Yeah.
You've been really good at this, Barf.
Thanks.
Really awesome at getting people in. You want to say something about that?
Just pander to like the local community, the local artists that are directly affected by it. I'm really into social media, ironically enough. I'm just like addicted to Instagram, but there's a lot of artistic integrity there that's threatened in like my like meme community or whatever. And AI slop is just like people are like resentful, and there's like a lot of like people just like clowning Elon and Stan Altman all day, like, for their looks, for the stuff they're saying. And back to Roku Basilisk, media is also a very big phenomenon that plays into history and the development of this thing, because that's how Elon and Grimes got together, by flirting on Twitter like years ago. They like had an inside joke like Rococo Basilisk, like Rococo as in like the French Rococo, the aesthetic, like the swirlies and flowers and all that stuff, Marie Antoinette. So yeah, like, I don't know, it all bleeds into each other. But in the aspect of outreach, what's been really like successful with us is, like holding these meetings, making those like building that rapport with folks, following up, not trying to spam them too much, but trying to get them like, out again and help us with like the things that we're doing, like flyering, which is like extensive work, nothing crazy, but like 2 hours a day will do you. Like, you pass out like 500 flyers, and it's fun to just like stand outside a bar, or maybe just like if you're feeling nonverbal, put your music on, go hit like 200 cars. You know what I'm saying? Get yelled at sometimes, or start a conversation with someone. Someone stops you, like, "Oh, that's my car. What are you putting on there? I'm gonna like take it off anyway." And I'm like, "Well, are you concerned about AI?" And that opens a conversation, and they're like, "Oh yeah, no, that's bullshit." Like, okay, I like, yeah. So it's cute.
I also like the way you actually brought up real artists. Like that's the first thing I did when I started seeing these ridiculous pieces of AI slop on Twitter was I pulled my sketchbook out and started drawing again. But only because like, there is a cognitive thing that is engaged when you're doing art. There's a cognitive thing that's engaged when you're actually having real conversations. Like, when you go out into the streets and you're talking to people one on one. I started longing for it when I saw what was happening with AI. I mean, so I like the point that you made. Like, there is a certain kind of visceral resistance to it. Like when you see it, the first thing you want to do is create something yourself with your own hands. When you hear it, the first thing you want to do is have a real conversation with people. So that is a helpful way to look at it. One of the ways to overcome the AI slop is through honest to God creation, art, conversation.
It's unfortunate because the way it's rapidly evolving, like, people are going to stop using their brains. I can say this immediately affecting like the architecture industry, where like you have to be like visually gifted, but you also have to be smart, like in an engineer way. And when a robot can do half of the hard work for you, like you're just dulling your brain, you're just numbing yourself. And I'm worried for the future generation because like it's a very it's a notable profession. It's very honorable, like architecture. I love architecture. My mom wanted me to be an architect, but I hate math, so I was like, sorry.
Oh man, that's funny.
Yeah, because people are already people are using GPT for anything these days. I mean, it's ridiculous. Like, the most simple of questions. How do you boil an egg? Like, you have to go and you got to ask this AI. Like,
not even that was scary, but like most of my friends, like my homegirls, are like, Varv, don't take ChatGPT away from us because the dating scene is just that down bad. And like, like it's like a synthetic boyfriend. Like they actually like have like deep talks, and I'm just like, bro. Oh, like what are you doing?
Oh my god!
I don't know.
Let me keep my AI man. Let me keep my AI man.
He's the only one that understands me. Oh no! Oh no! Oh, that is so sad. It's just it's like it's already bad enough when like kids today feel like they won't be able to survive in the woods without Google. Like imagine like if they get that dependent on AI for them. Yeah, boy. I love that cat. What's that cat's name? No, that's awesome.
April, he's the mascot.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it. Yeah, I love tuxedo cats. Well, we should probably start wrapping up anyways. We have a hard out. But yeah, how can people get involved? Give us some like talk to us like how people can sign up to get information from you guys, to hear about new protests. And if they're really scared about this stuff, what can they do to help?
Yeah, number one thing is we almost got into like what people should actually do, but if you're concerned about this, just talk to your friends about it and maybe go do bar meetings. That's what we're trying to do right now, is just do recurring sort of social events at bars, cafes. The way you start something big is you just get people who are worried about it to go talk about it in real life, and then they can sort of organize in a decentralized way from there. So if you're worried about this, we got flyer designs. We can give them to people. We got a short presentation we can give to people. Go take that to a bar, to a cafe, get your friends there, and then maybe hand out some flyers trying to get more people to the next one. And then it sort of builds linearly from there. And if you want to know how to get involved concretely, you can go to www.stopai.info. We're also on social medias at @stopAI_info. And yeah, it's just talking to people. That's all it is. And it's very refreshing when we're living in a world of AI slop, like you guys are saying.
Appreciate it. Yeah. Love it. So yeah, seriously, if you don't want Skynet to come true, if you don't want the Terminator to become real, please, go to stopai.info for sure. We'll have the links in the information about the episode.
You want to say one more thing?
Oh yeah, go for it.
Right, yeah. So there's lou.ma/stopai_info. That's very important. That's where we got all our events.
Yeah.
Meetings, protests, presentation.
Yeah. And really important.
LUMA.
Yep.
Yeah. LU.ma.
LU.ma/stopai_info.
And we got a protest coming up in front of OpenAI in San Francisco for those who would like to come. It's going to be at in the dog patch right next to the Warrior Stadium on April 18th from 4:30 to 6:30 p.m. That's at 1455 3rd Street in San Francisco.
Okay, great. I'll put up that information. Well, thank you again. This has been another episode of the Doomloop Dispatch. We're on all the socials, X, Instagram, all that fun stuff. And also we have a Patreon, so please support us there. This was great, guys. Really, thank you for explaining this stuff and really digging down how scary this stuff is. So hopefully people can sleep at night. And so we'll see you next week. And till then,
keep fighting the good fight.
Yeah, thanks, guys.